blessed ones. There's the scent of magic in the air. Just now, as I sat down to begin this, I discovered the video that had been lost last night. It was not in my photo album on the phone, and suddenly it appeared this morning as recorded after the video I had recorded after that one had mysteriously disappeared. It was returned. I feel is just further playfulness of the universe, evidence of the non-linearity of time. It is not linear, darlings. Not by a long shot. It is cyclical. And more than that, it's radiating in a great spiral. The Fibonacci sequence applies to all things. The golden ratio. Time exists very much like the accretion disk of our galaxy. It is spiraling, spinning, and in certain areas it has accrued mass, its own density, by the weight of the things which are felt there. Density applies to negative sensation, and that word, it doesn't have the meaning it has on this planet in any other dimension. It's merely the description of something that is heavier, is lower, that has a charge which is substantially negative and becomes dense. It condenses, and as such it sinks, right? It sinks through the levels of dimension to lower ones, such as this. And as it does, something phenomenal and miraculous happens. It accrues mass. It becomes physical material. And this is a wonder. This is a true wonder. And as such, these dense periods of time tend to draw in by gravitational pull. And every time the vortex spirals of time, which we are traveling upon, there's the temptation to be drawn back in. When we reach that place of alignment with these heavier things, we feel that tug, as if an urgency to go backwards. There is no backwards, of course, but the weight of those energies is intense. Gravity is strong. It's hard to deny the existence of it. Yet something even more miraculous happens when these moments in time are met with conscious awareness of a recurring pattern. All it takes is that conscious awareness of this recurrence, of the cyclical nature, and a decision in that moment that there is no more desire to repeat it. It's not a pushing against. You cannot push against gravity, my dears. It is simply an allowance of that moment to be as it is, and the deliberate choosing to move a new direction without any knowledge perhaps of what that is. It's an internal decision. And in the second that happens, your vibration rises, and you escape the gravitational pull of this dense timeline moment. You, in effect, create a wormhole to a new arm of the spiral. a wrinkle in time. And then you are aligned with a higher dimension of it, a new one, new potentialities unyet discovered, more positive sensation and vibration, for it is higher. And in so doing, you shift not only yourself and your consciousness, but you clear a pathway for every other soul, every other conscious being sharing this time-space experience. You make it easier for them to ascend, to follow you, to make that decision for themselves, to escape the pull of gravity. And you do this because where condensed energy pulls by gravity, buoyant energy pulls by attraction, desire, electromagnetic. It inspires, it uplifts at a core level of your being. And that kind of calling transcends all things in the physical dimension, including gravity. Pretty amazing. We are returning to the time of Six of Cups, beloveds, when this kind of magic and dreaming was available. It is becoming this way again. And it is so beautiful. And I began this video with no agenda, no plan for what would be discussed, only knowing that the energy is robust and feels delightful. It is like Christmas morning again, every day. There's a shift, the pendulum swings, of course. This is only natural as more and more of the collective experiences the radiation of the spiral and again meets these hard places where they must choose. If you do not choose with conscious deliberance, you will have another chance. You will come back around to this spot, this same moment. It may look different. It's the same now moment in time, and you have exactly the same power each time to make a conscious decision, to push yourself upwards. And each time, more and more of us do. More of the collective is expanding and radiating, and as this happens, as your individual consciousness expands, the whole of your being expands. And as a result, the universe expands in capacity to contain your bigness. You are growing the universe with your existence. That's beautiful. The dreams we had last night were indescribable, for they were not three-dimensional dreams, even fourth, fifth. We recalled being pure energy and what that felt like, what it feels like to be a light being without a physical form, just pure source and self, for identity is retained. It's just much more malleable, and everything makes much more sense because logic and intuition are married inherently. The divine masculine and feminine aspects of every being on every level of existence, they work in alignment. There is no contradiction or complaint or argument as there is in this level of dimension. And it all just flows and is rapturous and impossible to explain in words, because even words are just energy that have taken a physical form. So necessarily they simply cannot hope to describe it, but the experience of it. It is everything. It is literally everything. And I awoke with recollections of very early childhood. I'm not sure what age I would have been. Before first grade, kindergarten perhaps. Remembering many beautiful things and how wise I was and am, continue to be, but at that age, even the first time death was described to me, I remember it clearly. I was taken to the top of a nearby hill hiking spot in California, Tarantula Hill. And my father sat me down and described God to me. And with every word before he even began to speak, I knew this was pointless. It was as if he was just telling a made-up story. None of it was true. Not patently false, of course. It's founded in truth. But the description of death and that all life must end, and one day some being comes to pluck us from this earthly plane without consent, just takes us away, takes us home. And I just shut my ears to it and stared at the ground and looked for bugs to speak to. Oh, bless him. And then remembering again when I first began to learn of music. I was very blessed to be put in a class, extracurricular, called the Music Academy for kids. It came to mind because of the very first song, the very first line we ever learned to play, which had lyrics. If you want to make music, just say that I can. And that was very profound to me, and still is. But I attended this class until the teacher became pregnant. And again, I was a young child, could not have been older than 6. And this pregnancy deeply disturbed me in a way that confounded my parents, because I refused to return to the class. There was just something about it that was viscerally upsetting to my being. And I realized I had the revelation last night of the multiple dimensions of that experience and why it was energetically off-putting, because that is how I describe it now. It was energetically off-putting for a number of reasons. First and foremost, there is no other place in the universe, dears, where a being is grown within another being. That is unique to this earthly plane. And as one who has experienced life in other places where this is not the case, it was quite shocking to see, and more than a bit unsettling. But that itself was not what perturbed me most. It was the projected energy that I could sense. For being a little girl, a young person in a female body, as described biologically, I could feel the expectations already put upon me. Not with ill intent, of course, and I don't resent it, but all the same, there was an acute awareness that the energy of this person who was to become a mother could not help, because it was trained, could not help but look at young women, which she had once been, and from her then perspective, perceive them as future mothers, as children now who would eventually bear children. And something about that did not sit with me. And it has nothing to do with anything other than the projection of energy. It was the awareness that another's expectation was being energetically cast around me, was obscuring the truth of my being in some way. And that was upsetting. And again, it's done quite unintentionally, with little to no awareness by most. But it is energetically experienceable. When another looks at you and makes some kind of assumption about your future, about your life, about who you are, or will be, or choose to be, or wish to be, that casts a hue upon your energy that is not yours. And you feel that dissonance immediately, viscerally. It is not yours. It is the immediate sensation of you, perhaps. Sure, certainly. Not me. And this too does not exist in any other plane or realm of dimension. It is a curiosity of Earth, and all is allowed. Everything here is spectacular. And all of the galaxy is enthralled by what is taking place on this very unique and unusual planet. But that was a profound revelation for me. And I believe more and more will understand how easily we cast these false energetic clouds around one another, and why it puts us at dis-ease. Exactly why another having expectations of us, for us, which are specific and tailored by their own personal desires and experience, exactly why that is unbalanced and not unallowed, but also not appropriate in a sense. not beneficial, and certainly not in service to the self, theirs or ours. And I do not exclude myself from this practice. It is something I have come to learn personally. And this is why we spoke that verily to judge another is to judge the self. This is law. This is truth. So to have an expectation of another, a limitation for another's existence, is only to set limitation on yourself, which is limitless, eternal, infinitely expanding, without boundary. And it does not feel good, because it is in contradiction to the essence of who and what you are. That is why that is all, nothing more. It is not a judgment, condemnation of you for doing this or for anyone else doing it. It is simply diminishment of power and stepping out of alignment with the self, which doesn't feel good. But realizing this feels good, because in that moment you return to truth and alignment with all that you are, with all that all is. And that's all it takes. Now you are resonant. You are not wrong to have stepped off another direction. That's what we are here to do, so we can feel the connection to source. This is why we come into the world screaming, because in that moment we perceive the separation in a way that has never before been experienced. And at a deep level of being, it is rejected. But more than that, we come in knowing everything that we need to know. And yet we are trapped in these tiny, squishy bodies and must adapt. And that is the true beauty of this life journey here on planet Earth. It is messy and perfect. I desire to pull a few cards on this magical, mysterious morning. We will see how this one reacts. He is not terribly fond, nor does he need to be. We will protect his delicate sensibilities. A message from the universe today. Oh, well, a message of love. The universe sends love, darlings, as we do to each other. What is this delightful energy about? What can you share with us this morning? Page of Pentacles crossed by the Two of Cups. It is love. It is the card of the student, the card of earnest offering and stable new beginning. a new beginning in love. This is undeniable. This is soul connection, deeper than a soulmate. Why? Because it is the 10 of Pentacles, because it is everything. Love is everything. You are made of love. All of this existence is the expression of self in loving uncondition. Ah, 10 of Pentacles crossed by the 4 of Cups. There have been disappointments. There has been stinginess in love, but this is what we are growing out of, because we desire the real deal. And why do we desire the real deal? Because we have gone within and known the truth of our souls, the truth of our expansiveness, our power, of our desire, of our divine purpose and birthright, which is love, unmitigated. The Hermit directly bookends the Page of Pentacles. There has been a period of great study and introspection. And now there is a desire to be a student again of life, of love, of light, to treat all new experience as opportunity rather than obstacle, to move forward from this stable new place of earnest desire and working with the inner child. For curiosity's sake, I peeked beneath. We no longer wish to simply watch and judge from a distance. We are gaining the strength to take that rose and move forward with it, to make the offer, to move forward with it. Passionate desire. This energy is resplendent. It is beautiful. Peaceful yet excited. A journey promised yet untaken. Oh, that would be it. All right. The journey promised yet untaken. We will take that one. There she is again. Page of Pentacles, making that offer. Thank you. What else would you like to share? Another shot. There is action. There has been much contemplation, but we are moving into the phase of action. This is the influence already of the new moon, which is approaching on the 23rd in Sagittarius season. Action towards wish fulfillment. Very interesting. The ties that bind are being severed so that this can be achieved. This is a recognition of a different type of connection. It can be the Miser card, and it has some of that energy, but it wants to give. wants to give to a new connection. That is the feeling from it. Sagittarius season is approaching. Fire, energy, passion, forward motion. The archer takes the shot. Radical truth, honesty, optimism, time of great expansion. Venus and Mercury are moving into Sagittarius within less than a day of one another. Planet of love and the planet of communication. And Jupiter as well, shifting to Sagittarius with a unique trine that is connecting it to Pisces, an opposing element, just like temperance, balanced expansion in the areas of love and communication. The bottom of the deck, 8 swords, crossed by strength, which we just saw. We are gaining the strength to relieve ourselves of this mindset, because that's all it is. It's a mindset. It's an old pattern. It's a dense area of time that we have passed by and repeated again and again. And now we are learning the strength to move past that. Ace of Wands again. We have the strength to escape this. It's not really a prison. She only thinks that she's in prison because she's not looking. Those ties are loosely bound. She could slip them off at any time. She is divine feminine, clad in red. Our divine feminine aspects in everyone are finding the strength, pardon me, to speak and to shift themselves out of this state. Ace of Wands crossed by death. Phoenix rising. That is what I see. Emerging from the ashes of the previous self, having been immolated by the spirit, ignited by the fire of Source, Ignis Dei Domini. Those were among the first words I ever received in a dream, years and years ago. That is a powerful card. Fiery rebirth, Phoenix rising. That is this energy. Deliberate, conscious recreation of the self in a pure form, a more authentic form, aligned, vibrationally accurate to truth. And the Eight of Swords. Wow. The Eight of Swords is bookended by the Knight of Swords. Truth, again. Realizing the truth of this habitual state of mind. But more than that, action taken to escape it, to relieve the self of it, and deliberate communication of truth. Communication of truth. 8 swords becoming 8 wands. And what's directly underneath 8 wands? Who is bringing this communication that they have discovered how to release their divine feminine empress within? The Emperor. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. some brief clarification, perhaps. Now, on our previous cards, beginning with the Two of Wands. Why is the Two of Wands here? There is desire for communication, collaboration, forward motion. This is abundantly clear. Why is the Two of Wands here? What do you wish to share with us about the Two of Wands and its presence in today's reading and our collective energy? We must escape this anxiety. Not taking this journey has created more anxiety than taking it. It takes a lot of strength to admit that, to recognize that in the self, that the things we haven't done because we were afraid have caused us more pain than anything else. The fear of missing out, as they say, but this is more than that. This is the rejection of an offer that was made, and the realization of how many things we've desired that we've turned down out of fear of disappointment, fear of failure, but that ultimately not trying is much more painful than it would have been to just try, even if we were disappointed. The strength to try, the strength to accept an opportunity to take a journey even when you feel fear, because you know it is desired, and you know nothing is worth the regret of not doing. If you take the shot and you miss, then you missed. You will hit something else behind it. But if you never take the shot, if you stand there waiting, thinking, planning, strategizing, looking for the perfect moment, eventually that shot will disappear. And then you have learned nothing. And remain in this anxiety and this tension. Daughter of Pentacles is here. Page of Pentacles, because it wants to build. Wants a stable new foundation. Wants to take the shot in a stable way. And there's nothing wrong with that. All that means is having confidence. That is your stable foundation. You need nothing else. Having confidence. Talk about confidence, Balanced Emperor. Why is the Eight of Pentacles here? We have a desire to make an offer, to take the shot, to take the journey, and stop thinking about it, to just do it. We want to build something. We want to build. We want to take the journey. We want to create the world together. That is beautiful. Yeah, I mean, there's the realization that this is the potential to create new earth with one another, with each other, at every level. Every individual who chooses this, who chooses to become a co-creator with the divine, with the universe, begins that process. Then you meet another who seeks the same way you seek. You speak truths and co-create the world together. And then it only escalates. You meet more, a community. This is my dream. To establish a global community of deliberate co-creative individuals who are awakened to this level, who desire the ascension of Earth, who desire to uplift all to the bliss and rapture of higher dimensional existence. And we will build it. And it will be the centers of self-expression and creation. For there's never been only one. There is one in the galactic heart, which is within all of us. That is your own center of creation. So, we desire this opportunity to build because it is the opportunity to build everything, to recreate everything in our existence. Why is the Four of Pentacles here? Very curious about this one. It is an anomaly in this energy, in a sense. There is some residual fear attached to it, but it isn't strong. It's not enough to keep someone back. It's not enough to keep anyone back with the Chariot underneath. Why is the Four of Pentacles here? There's fear of disappointment still, but oh, I see. This is a withholding from the connections that are not serving us, so that energy can be directed into what we desire to build. Conservation of energy, so that it can be exploded a new direction to break free from this cycle. That's what that feels like. Why is the Four of Cups here? Why is the Four of Cups here? King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That's a desire for forward motion. It could also be a withholding from, it is also a withholding from that expectation, sensation of living up to expectations of others, social reputation. It's a withholding from that energy, so that energy can be flowed to creation of the world. Oh, well, yes. Page of Swords. We'll take that. I split the deck, and here's what we have. It's not easy to speak these truths, and we wish to be delicate with them. There's no desire to cause undue suffering or chaos, but all the same, these things are coming to an end. We are putting an end to connections which are not to our benefit, which do not serve us, and therefore do not serve the earth, do not serve the world. And we are determined with this. Even though there's very little fire represented in this reading, this is enough for all of it. And actually, it's because we're growing more confident and stable in this decision. It's not feeling so impulsive. It's not feeling so potentially ego-based. There's a realization that this is grounded in truth, in divine alignment, for a much higher purpose than merely passion. Although passion is included, it is much, much more than that. Beautiful. Okay, well, we'll leave the chariot right at the bottom there. Parting messages from the universe. I just wanted to, oh, yeah. Just felt compelled to look at these cards. What was fueling the Nine of Cups was the moon. Look at those matching moons there. That's beautiful. A wish made from within. A wish made from alignment and higher purpose. A wish for soulmate connection, deep soulmate connection that fulfills everything. That is a true dream made reality. There's that Ace of Wands again, the strength underneath. We have the strength through this journey, this new journey. Parting messages from the universe. Thank you. Anything else you wish to share? We are putting an end to things which no longer serve any of us to participate in. We have the realization that not taking the journey has only caused us more pain and suffering than just trying. And we must try, because this is creation of earth, of ascension. These cards don't want to go in. Well, we'll take them all, and that's why. The Watcher wishes to speak. Again, Page of Swords. Delicate, but not afraid, not fearful. Want to know why she's not fearful? Because that's underneath directly. Because she is following her heart. Parting messages from the universe. Wow. The Hierophant. The Wheel of Fortune. The Eight of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. And these came out, actually these came out like a bookend energy. How perfect. 5 cards. The Queen of Cups, the most love that one can give, the full cup. And she's making an offer. Page of Cups. She's making a new offer. Communication, directly underneath. Second time we've seen 8 of Wands in this reading. Communicating this new offer of love. Because this communication is driven by the Wheel of Fortune. It's divinely inspired and divinely guided. And it's backed by spiritual lessons we have learned. It's backed by conversation with the divine. Contact with the higher self has inspired this. This is not driven by some external circumstance. This is entirely from within. The Hierophant is encouraging the communication and the giving of true love, encouraging the opening of the heart space in full for this. for this. Oh, I grabbed the one underneath. No more disappointment. No more tainted cups. Those cards stayed right together. Because we're getting this. We're getting the 10 Pentacles. We're getting 9 of Cups. We're getting the wish fulfilled. That's beautiful. This is for all. This is the earth that we are building. One based on love. True, unconditional, eternal, all allowing, endless love. Yeah, there's nothing more to say. That is it. We have learned that we wish to give love, to speak truth, and to receive it. We desire this connection. The divine desires this connection. Under the Chariot, because I was curious. 4 of Wands. This is the outcome. Balanced, divine, equally reciprocal. Again, a relationship where every moment is growing and learning and uplifting, creating more. I need nothing else. I never have, but this is just so much fun. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, souls. This is your reading.